What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and you know, when that HTC Desire HD was announced for Europe and I saw it at CTA, I was like, this is a hot device. It looks good, it's a big screen, it's running Android 2.2, it has the latest editions of HTC Sense 2.0, and it's just all around an awesome device, but it was only available in Europe. I was like, this has got to come to the US. Well, it has. The HTC Inspire 4G is now available, or actually it's going to be available on the 13th at AT&T for $99.99. after rebates. Great deal considering the price barrier right now is $199.99 for most of the smartphones on the market. And you get a lot of bang for the buck. You get a 4.3-inch display, 1 GHz processor, 8-megapixel camera with a flash, awesome display. I think I already said that. Android 2.2 with HTC Sense 2.0. It's actually the first US device to come with 2.0 pre-installed. So cool device, awesome device in AT&T, and a great Android contender along all those Droid devices on Verizon. We'll take a look at it in the full review, but first, special thanks to our friends at Best Buy. They hooked us up with 2 of these so we can give them away to you in the One Paw Bandit game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you walk out working, you buy this, they'll help you set up your email, help you set up the web browser, get you set up and ready to go out the door. Now for that, one other cool feature I forgot to reference is blocked callers. You can go in and actually add a caller from your contacts list and make sure that when they dial, it's blocked. Now, this HTC Sense has had this feature for some time, but it's been integrated into the People list and not as a separate app. So it's nice to see it actually in the app drawer versus having to go in, click the contact, select block call, click it on. It's just much easier to do it this way. As a separate app. Let's take a look at the internet, see what it looks like. Again, 4.3-inch display, and if you remember the Evo, it looks just as beautiful. It is running Android 2.2, so it does have flash enabled. But let's take a look, and of course, both portrait and landscape, as usual, work very well. And I've been really pleased. The speed of this device. AT&T isn't known for having the highest end devices. Let's just put it that way. The Captivate is, isn't a high-end device, and it's nice. But the rest are kind of mid-range units. As much as I enjoy certain things about the Aria and a couple of those, they're mid-range units. But so it's nice to see this high-end device. A lot of people were like, AT&T is going to disappoint. There's going to be something about this device that's terrible. I've been really pleased with the speed. I've been really pleased with this device overall. And I found that pinch to zoom is very responsive. The page isn't even fully loaded yet, and it's extremely responsive. Tap to zoom works well. You can see it scrolling around with those ads up and down. Very quick and very easy. And then, of course, a quick transition from portrait to landscape. There's no doubt about it. The device is fast and it works well under pressure. So we'll take a look at the quadrant standard speed scores in a minute, but you get an idea. Very, very fast there. Typical Android browser options. You have back and forward, of course. Add bookmark. You can view your bookmarks. You can open up a new window if you want to wait for PhoneDog to completely load. You click new window. And then the typical back-end stuff like downloads, history, settings, etc. So let's open that. You can see now the page is fully loaded. Quick pinch to zoom. And quick transitions between portrait and landscape as well. And thanks to that 4.3-inch display, it really looks, for lack of a better word, it looks hot on that display. It has an 8-megapixel camera on the back with a dual LED flash, and I've been really impressed with the pictures. The picture quality is nearly identical to the Evo. I've been super impressed, and in both low-lit and decently lit situations. Let's take a look here. For example, I have the Verizon iPhone 4 down here. We'll zoom in on the Verizon because it looks just so weird to see that on the device. I think that's a pretty good picture given how close the camera was. Let's do it again, and you can see. This is on a black background too, so keep that in mind. We'll load it up there. We'll do that. I think the picture quality is very good. Now your editing options are down here. You turn the flash on and off. You can do a couple different things: self-portrait, self-timer. You have your white balance options, your resolution, ISO, and more. Video camera equally decent. Not going to replace your home camcorder, but as you saw in the 720p video test I did when I was in New York City for the Sprint event, it's very good. The image quality is very good. The sound quality still needs some work. Let's take a look at the quadrant standard scores to get an idea, and I don't want to spoil the fun for you. I know how fast they're going to be, but we'll take a look and let that run. While it's running, let me tell you a little bit about the device. I tested it. I've been using it as my personal device for a couple of days now, 5 or 6 days since I've, actually 5 days. No, sorry, 7 days. I can't count. I'm really tired. I'm sorry. I flew in last night, and it's been a long couple days. Anyway, I used it in New York. I used it in San Francisco. I've used it, of course, in my home, the Charlotte metro area, and been very pleased across the board. Call quality is fantastic. The earpiece is very loud. Speakerphone is very sufficient. And I haven't had any issues whatsoever. Data has been reasonably fast, though I haven't been able to get an HSPA Plus speed yet, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because of my features on my account. I don't know if it's because the Inspire 4G is not out. I don't know if it needs a $0 feature code in AT&T systems or what, but it's not pulling HSPA Plus just yet, so I can't comment on that. We'll do those tests in a minute. Let's take a look. Benchmark results. Drum roll. 1741. Now, I've seen this device go between 1700 and 1850. So, needless to say, it's a fast device. It's not quite up to the MyTouch 4G, but it definitely gives it a run for its money in the speed department. Blows any of the Galaxy S devices out of the water, at least in their current form. And, honestly, I've been running 2.2 on Galaxy S devices for a couple weeks, and it still blows those out of the water in terms of quadrant standard scores. So, that's impressive. Let's do a quick speed test, and then we'll sign out with the HTC Inspire. Okay, loaded up in Charlotte. Let's do a test. I'm going to lay it down so as to not interfere, just to get a quick idea of what speed test numbers are like. Now, I was just working with the AT&T iPhone, which is HSPA Plus, in a previous video, and I was pulling 2.2 megabits per second on the download and about 1 megabit per second on the upload. So needless to say, these numbers are a little bit kind of baffling and not right. There's something not right here. I don't know if it's, I have a 4G, the HSPA Plus SIM card, as they call it, in this device, but don't know why those numbers aren't higher than they are, but they're still kind of hovering there in that pretty low range, and I haven't seen it really go past 1 to 1.5 megabits per second since I've had it. Again, that's not an AT&T thing, at least on that. I mean, those are obviously AT&T those are scores, but let's wait until the device comes out, and make sure I have the right features before we kind of critique their network in that regard. Otherwise, these are their standard HSPA Plus. This is still unacceptable. I mean, 97 kilobits per second. And it's interesting because when I pull this device out, I get 2 to 2.5 megabits per second. So it doesn't make sense, but we'll try to figure it out and let you know more. Much more coverage to come on the HTC Inspire 4G on PhoneDog.com. In a nutshell, I really like this device. It's a great high-end device on AT&T. Beautiful screen, beautiful body, but I'm a little concerned about the battery life, and in my testing, it hasn't been very great at all. I'm also concerned about the network connectivity when you look at it like that. I mean, that's not great at all. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron, and as always, be sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're giving away a bunch of cool prizes in the coming days, weeks, and months, so be sure to keep it locked on the page. Interact with us, comment with us. We love to hear from you, and we're on the page regularly, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Thanks so much for tuning in. Keep it locked on the site for continuing coverage, dogfights in the coming days, and more. Thanks so much for watching.